All right, so in the last video, we looked at prototypes, which are basically just special types of objects where we can add methods and properties to. So if we look at our rectangle that we're logging here, and we look at the prototype, right now, all it has in it is our constructor function. Now, we can store methods in the prototype, and a perfect opportunity for us is to put this area function in there, because it's clear that when we create a new rectangle, we need to pass in a name, a width, and a height, but the area is always going to stay the same, right? It's always going to be whatever the width is times whatever the height is. So instead of putting it on the function, we can make this more efficient and put it into the prototype, and that way any rectangle we create will have access to it. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this. And then we can say rectangle, so whatever the name of our constructor function, dot prototype, and then I'll paste that in, except I'm going to get rid of the this keyword. So it's just going to be rectangle dot prototype dot, and then whatever the name of the function, in this case area. And then we don't have to change anything else. Within the prototype, we still have access to this, which is going to refer to this particular instance of the object. So now I'm going to come down here and do a console log of, let's say, rect.area, and it should work the same way. So you see I get 100 because I'm passing in 10 for the width and the height. That's going to give me 100 for the area. Now if I look in the rectangle object itself, there's no area function. It's located now in the prototype. And we'll go ahead and add a couple more here, a couple more methods. So let's say we want to get the perimeter. So we'll change this to perimeter, and we're going to do this dot width plus this dot height, and we want to say 2 times that should give us the perimeter. And then let's add another one. So this one we'll say is square. So basically for this, I just want to see if the width is equal to the height. So we'll just go ahead and do that. So that'll give us true or false if it's a square. And then let's do one that takes in an argument. So let's say we want to change the name. This isn't something I would actually do, but we could pass in new name here. And then we could set this dot name, set that equal to the new name that's passed in. All right, so now if I save this and we look in the prototype, now we have a bunch of methods in here. So when we look at the array prototype, for instance, you can see all the different methods. This is how it's done, right? This is how you can add methods. So let's go ahead and just test some of these out. So we'll do, say, rect.perimeter. So that gives us 40 for that. Let's say, what else do we have? Is square. So that gives us true. But if I change, let's say this is 10 and then the height is 20, then we get false. And then if I want to change the name, let's say rect.change name, and we'll just put in here test, and then I'll console log rect.name, and we get test. And we get it twice because I console logged it here, which I didn't need to do. All right, now if we create another rectangle, so let's say this is going to be rect2, and say rect2, we'll set it to 30 and 40. And of course, since I use the rectangle constructor, I can go ahead and I can say rect2.area, and I get 1200. So that's going to work. So any object that I instantiate from this constructor function, I have access to all of these prototype methods. So I think that's pretty simple explanation. So hopefully you guys get it. What I want to do next is show you another way that we can create and add prototypes using the object create method.